Welcome back. You have discovered King Pilled. We are glad to have you guys here with us today. I'm Matt. That is Cooper. He's cool, can't you tell?
Yeah. I was wondering, how long do you guys, I'll throw this one to the crowd. How long do you think I could survive on only White Claws?
What are the ingredients in White Claws?
I think it's just like sparkling water and a little vodka and natural flavors or something like that.
I don't know. That seems the natural flavors is probably the worst part of it. So, can you get an unflavored White Claw?
I could just get some club soda and pour like Tito's in it or whatever.
Right. This is like a trailer park White Claw. uh,
Pop off.
Tallahassee Pete over here. He's the White Claw man. That's actually, you guys may not have known this, but Tallahassee Pete is actually the given name of Grandpa White Claw. We call him Grandpa White Claw because honestly he's Grandpa White Claw, but his legal name, the name he signs contracts with, is Tallahassee Pete. Today you learned that.
Yeah. Unrelated, but um important. Is there might how do I say this? Is there any band currently active that is better than the 1975?
You know what I love is that I would bet you the vast majority of our audience has no idea who the 1975 is. And those who do, probably they don't understand what you and I understand about the 1975.
Dude, every album, they're just like a banger machine. Certified bangers. They just spit them out. Just churning them out. They're so good.
And then what's the lead singer's name?
Matty Healy.
Matty Healy. Yeah, yeah. He's what was tell the story about what he did. This is deep lore, but just for the sake of it, we're going to gratify ourselves and engage in passing around some deep lore. So, what was the thing that he did with respect to the other punk band?
Um, well, there is this kind of like indie band that's like a conglomeration of a bunch of chicks. It's a chick band, like Phoebe Bridgers and a couple other chicks, and she's also really good. Anyway, they have a band. Who is it? It's Julian Baker and Phoebe Bridgers. Julian Baker, right? Is that right? I think
I don't
so.
know.
Anyway, they're great, really great. Even individually as artists, and the band itself is pretty good. It's called Boy Genius, and Matty Healy has done some collaborative efforts with some of them. And he put out a tweet at one point where he said he was going to start a band called Girl Retard and just lit the internet on fire, and he deleted his Twitter. I'm like, for that right there, he's like an honorary one of our guys because that was really good. He's probably a total shit lib. I don't know anything about
I'm sure.
But that was a good one.
Oh, yeah, girl retard. You could, but like, there's something about that you've got this guy who's
Matty Healy tweets ableist slur.
right. I mean, can you believe it? Yeah. So there's something interesting about a guy like this that he's ostensibly some sort of shitlib. I mean, he's like a twinky little British guy that sings pop music with a high voice. Like he's like the archetypal shitlib, but he does something like, and this was like 2 or 3 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So you can get away with saying these sorts of things more now than you could a few years ago. A few years ago, having a guy like him from his milieu tweeting something like that is a pretty big indicator of a guy who just really doesn't give a fuck. He's like, I'm doing what I'm doing, and then everyone gets mad at him, and he doesn't delete it and like issue a formal apology and do this whole gay pearl clutching thing. He's just like, oh man, you guys are so annoying. I don't even care about this app anymore. Go away. I have better things to do with my time than entertain your obnoxiousness. That's great. What's up, Joshua Ham? Josiah just says no, there isn't. I don't know what that's. Oh, there's probably no, there isn't an unflavored White Claw.
Or
This.
no, there isn't a band greater than the 1975.
Oh, that could be. Yeah, yeah. We could just leave that one out there in the
He listens to like his genre of music is like Lana Del Rey. All the chicks who like have the
SSRIs.
SSRI eyes. Yeah. Yeah, he's into that. Which is cool. I like that music too. So
Uh-huh.
that's one of the few things that my mortal enemy and I agree on.
Which is like a strange thing. You wouldn't expect that you guys, knowing you guys, that like that would be the thing that you would you have the handshake arm across thing. I don't even know what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say.
yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, we bonded over I don't know. I don't know what you would call it. Female Zanny pop. Like it's so
Zanny
good.
Pop. Yeah. I went through a really big Billie Eilish stretch for a little while, like when she
Billie
first
Eilish,
came
she's
out.
pretty good. She's pretty
Yeah,
good.
because so this is what I was. I was living in Southern California, and I was driving from the valley down through the canyons, like winding roads through the canyons. And like every single day, it's Southern California, so every single day it's like 65 or 70 degrees, sunny, clear blue skies every single morning at like 7 o'clock. So I would be driving down through this canyon. Uh, with the car had a nice sound system, and her you really have to have good headphones when you listen to her music to appreciate the production and everything that she's doing.
Yeah.
But so that's what I've always associated her music with is like windows down, the most perfect imaginable weather, driving down through this canyon and down toward the beach. And so it's always had really positive associations with me. But at the same time, I also was kind of like, it, there's something wrong with just listening to music like that being produced by a like out of like late teens girl. It just seems
Nah.
it seems a little creepy to.
No, dude, a banger is a banger.
Yeah, I mean, fair, yes, definitely. But at the same time, it still feels kind of like it's like I feel like I'm doing something I shouldn't.
That
She, yeah,
whole
no, she is definitely not a male to female. That I feel very confident in saying that about Billie Eilish.
oh, what do you know?
I have eyes.
Oh, okay.
There's some things that you can't like.
No,
There's
she's not producing it. Her brother is. Learn the deep lore, guys.
yes, right. It's oh, I just forgot his name. It's weird. Um he's kind of a dweeb. It's funny. Uh Pete
Wouldn't that be kind of
Budapest.
awkward? Wouldn't it be
What?
kind of awkward, like producing this really like strung out, like I- exciting music, exciting in a very like inflaming the passions, that kind of music,
Mm-hmm.
and like talking about, and she's like has lyrics where she's talking about like being choked and tied down and getting fucked.
Yeah,
And
her stuff is
like,
dark.
you're right.
That's why I don't
like,
listen to it anymore.
what? Yeah, but imagine being her brother who's producing her music for her and just like hearing like this is your sister and like what she's into. Like, don't you feel like, ugh, you know?
Yeah. You know she was homeschooled?
I did. I did.
That's she's a very weird look into a certain aspect of it's kind of part of the darker underbelly of American culture that is
I
the
wonder what kind
bougie
of
white.
homeschooled was it, like left wing hippie homeschool kind of thing?
I think so, yeah, and I think it was like rich family, um, like I think like rich family that moves around a lot or like wants to have the flexibility, and we're just going to pay for our child to be educated on our own terms, kind of.
Hmm. Yeah, you know, another weird. I remember back in my my Pentecostal days learning that Katy Perry is the daughter of a Pentecostal preacher.
She's the daughter of two.
Oh,
Yes.
she turned out all right, I guess.
Uh-huh. Right. Yeah. what do what do when you've got fruit, the fruit will tell you something about the tree it came from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Josiah says this degen pop culture is so far past awkward. Yeah, yeah, it's really like, I mean, especially for younger people. Most of our audience is a little younger, so I think they probably vibe with us on this. No, not two dads. There's a man and a woman, but they're both ministers.
You're really scraping the bottom of the barrel tonight, aren't you, Rip?
um, what were we talking about? Fruit and the fruit from the tree.
Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish. Yeah. Anyways, I don't really think I was going anywhere with that.
Just what I would like to do some kind of I'd like to pick apart that whole milieu of music. I'd like to. Can we do an episode where we just spurg out about music?
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, especially if like connecting like music frequencies and
no,
like
no,
the hertz
I don't
and the
want to do
shapes of
that.
platonic solids and.
I don't want to do that.
I'll find someone else to talk about that.
I like schizo stuff, but I don't like the kind of I tripped on acid and now I think I'm really deep kind of schizo stuff. I find that so fucking.
So like you're not intrigued by the idea that music is kind of like listening to colors?
Whatever, man.
That seems cool to me. Like,
okay,
yeah. I have no clue who Billie is. Yes, it's Billie. She's one of the. I think she literally has a song called Zanny. I'm pretty sure. Tripping on acid is only for the clumsy.
Do you want to start
that's
a
banger.
Matt? Do you want to make a bunch of like really degenerate, strung out Zanny pop?
Yeah.
I could do that.
We could do, you could do a band like that, and you could have the music all be entirely like AI produced, and then just take pictures as the band. But you never actually like play any music or anything. But you have like album art, and you have like pictures and videos of you playing, and it's all just AI generated.
You got me thinking now.
Yeah, I mean, these are our good buddy Random Username likes to talk about the revolutionizing that's going to happen within the film industry with AI movies, and basically you can have a single person be an entire film studio and produce. So this is going to have like these dual effects, where on one hand it means we're going to be just absolutely saturated in film content. We're already getting to that point. Like it used to be like when Game of Thrones. So this isn't that long ago. When Game of Thrones was running, like you had everyone was like sitting and watching Game of Thrones, and this is like a collective thing everyone is experiencing across the society. Now shows get released, and you kind of have passing like, hey, you watch this? Oh yeah, people kind of about their little thing, but you don't have that single uniting thing happening. So we're already experiencing an overload of film content. That's going to just exponentiate even more.
I didn't jump on the Game of Thrones bandwagon until, I don't know, they were already on like season 5 or something like that, and then I binged everything up till then. I'm not a big TV guy. Not big. There's a couple certified bangers that I like, but I'm not really into the movie watching.
I
love Lord of the Rings. I have tried watching the Lord of the Rings trilogy probably 6 times, and I get about 30 minutes into the first movie and fall asleep every time. I've not been able to like actually make it through yet, and I hear it's one of the greatest of all times.
Mm-hmm. It's incredible how it holds up now too. Even on a technical level, like the digital effects and stuff that they have are very difficult to pick out. It's very crisp, and this was 25 years ago, which is crazy to think about because I saw it in theaters.
Speaking of Elijah Wood, have you watched Wilfred?
Is that the one with the dog?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh man, I forgot about that show. That's one of the most schizo.
Oh yeah.
Oh
that's
man,
one of my favorite shows ever made.
Yes, that's exactly your sense of humor.
I love that show.
Oh man, it's Australian, isn't it?
Well, there's an Australian version and then an American version. The American one has Elijah Wood. Dude, you think the American one is schizo? Watch the Australian one. That makes even less sense because you have like Australian humor, and I don't get them at all.
We'd have to have Jason there to translate for us.
Yeah,
which would just totally kill it all.
You ever watch Dark?
It rings a bell.
It's on Netflix. It's a German
Oh,
show.
yeah. I've heard of it.
Dude, you got to watch it. It's so good.
Yeah, I have to figure out like basically since 2020, I've basically stopped watching TV with the exception of sports, and I've even cut down my sports watching significantly. But I consume a shitload of content, and the vast majority of it is like I go down YouTube rabbit holes learning about a specific subject. Like lately, it's been like a whole bunch of different things related to real estate development, that sort of thing. But I'm spending hours a day. Basically, any downtime I have, anytime I'm walking or driving or working or anything like that, I'm always listening to something. That it's made it a lot harder for me to engage in fiction. I used to be much more interested in fiction, but now I'm like I have a really hard time like getting my brain to cling to the fictional thing that's happening. All right. Well, we've got Pete Budapest here. Really wants us to talk about Dave Ramsey, and it's funny we may touch on Dave Ramsey today, but just kind of only tangentially. The only reason I put his face on the thumbnail was because I was putting Boomer's debts in like really big words, and I thought it was really funny to mash up Boomer's debts next to Dave Ramsey because it kind of just is just two things that don't go together, and yet they do go together. But I called it The Curse of Adam, Why Men Are on the Hook for the Boomer's Debts.
Oh, dude, The Prisoner was a great show.
The Prisoner. What was that one?
Dude wakes up in a town out in the middle of like the desert, and he's like, "How the fuck did I get here?" And basically everyone there are just like going about their lives like it's normal. And he's like, "Did you guys? How long have you been here?" And no one remembers. Like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? He's like, "Am I the only one who like was just like living my life and then just woke up here?"
Oh, that's a really compelling,
really mind-boggling.
The mind-bending psychological thrillers are the best. Dave Ramsey, yeah, he already called in. We told him he's gay.
Friend of the show.
Left. Yeah, we've got a relationship like that where we just periodically remind him that we think he's gay, and he pretends not to know that we exist. So, okay, first of all, we have to watch this. This is part of the reason we're playing this is so that Cooper will cringe his face off because he loves cringy content.
Okay.
Now, one of our good buddies from the Discord posted this. Frank posted it and said something about the Theater Kid Revolutionaries. So here's your Theater Kid Revolutionaries.
Tonight is the night before the founding Congress of the Revolutionary Communist Party, and I'm here with some comrades from Edmonton. So how did you guys get here? It was a 9-hour trip for me. We took a plane to Toronto, and then from there,
we flew direct from Edmonton to Montreal. We took a week off because we absolutely needed to be here.
It's really exciting to be here. I can't think of anywhere else I would want to be. This is literally being part of history. We're going to be part of the party, part of the founding of the party that's going to change the world, that's going to liberate us all from the system that oppresses us. I can't think of anything cooler that I want to do in my life than be a revolutionary and making revolution.
And it's amazing to be here with like not only comrades from across Canada, but from across the world, really showing like the international
Pause it.
of like our party.
I want to be a revolutionary.
I'm so excited. It's like it feels like watching a like NPC dialogue. It's people just reciting slogans and just kind of like taking random slogans and mashing them together, and then they're just kind of like look like you know what I mean, right? And they're, oh yeah, I totally all those slogans, the memes I read on the internet, I totally. We share the same memes. Yay, go us.
I'm a part of history.
It's such a weird...
I can't think of anything I'd rather do with my life than be a revolutionary. Right, comrade?
Uh-huh.
you know that.
But notice how, like, if you're looking at them, they don't look like they... This is bio-Leninism, like, This is it right here.
Yeah, right.
They're all like kind of dysgenic, kind of sort of weird, freakish
Freaks, yeah.
looking. Some of it they can help, some of it they can't. But at the same time, these don't look like poor people. These don't look like lower class, working class, dirty people. These aren't people that work dirty jobs. They're very soft and kind of effete. There's a few more here that kind of really bears this out.
Just meet all of these people and interact alone for likely over 100 years.
Like this guy's sort of dressing as if he's kind of this sort of weird poor farmer kind of, but he's got this shirt. It's got the little flowers like turned up on the collars and stuff. And he combs his beard. You can tell it's kind of a little frumpy looking, but he combs it.
I see people like this, and I wish I didn't have tattoos. Like, I don't want to be associated with them. And it, like, do you understand my point?
Right. Yes.
Like, I feel kind of like a freak, and by virtue of feeling kind of like a freak, I feel like I'm associated with these freaks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Josh Ham says poor people don't tend to take a week off work and fly across a nation. Right.
Yeah, right, exactly.
He has been nothing but a reformer to lead the
Here, comrades from Halifax, Cape Breton, and Charlottetown.
Like, this is not a manual
How did you guys
labor.
all get here?
Yeah, we just drove to Halifax and then go here.
Look at this guy here. This,
These guys, like, they take themselves really seriously.
uh-huh.
And they unironically call each other comrade.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Speak of, like, stolen valor, you know?
Uh-huh. Yeah, Glonk. What's up, Glonk? He says Richie's LARPing his proles. That's exactly what it is.
Drove to Halifax and then
Look at this guy.
Nice.
He's wearing... Ah, come on. So he's wearing overalls, but he's got
not.
like nicely shampooed hair. His skin is super clean. He's got little twiggy arms.
He's not working. He does not have a farm.
No.
Yeah.
This guy's wearing a costume.
Yes.
I'm here because
And that's basically the
So
gist
you're
of it.
communists watching
This guy's
this
talking about like
imperialism. So if
imperialism
you're communists
and
watching at
all
home,
this.
What are you waiting for?
Oh, here.
Join us, get organized, and help us overthrow this fucked up system.
Can we go ahead and take a guess at her ethnicity?
Oh, yes. I don't even need to guess.
She is a fine-looking Jewess.
Uh-huh.
give her that.
Yes.
That is like my type in a nutshell.
Fine-looking Jewess.
Not necessarily Jewish, though I'm a fan. But like dark hair, dark eyes. I don't know how to describe it. That right there. You all just saw it.
Yeah.
That is my type.
And you can see she's the most dressed up of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
She's she seems like she's probably the wealthiest of all of them, and she's the one that's really projecting this charismatic, like, you can tell she's the leader, at least among this little pod of them. She looks like she's the one who she's a professional social media person or something like that, and she's organized her people together to go do this thing, and now she's doing the corporate social media advertising marketing thing.
Like, what if you went in there and you were just like, okay, like, I don't know, what's where'd they say they were? Halifax? I'm sure there's some kind of like government building in Halifax or something like that. What if someone just walked in there and he's just like, okay, here's some pitchforks, here's a couple guns, we're gonna go storm the building now because we're revolutionaries, right? I bet they'd all be like, ick, no. You know?
Like, I have
asthma.
I have
long
anxiety.
COVID. Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
Yes,
Long COVID. Yeah. Yeah, I have a therapy appointment I can't miss. You know, like, but this is what's interesting is that they're occupying the same role, like, psychosocially, as the communists did. This is what it looks like to be the same sort of demographic as the communists with respect to the other demographics. Now these people that manage to, you made a really good point about this when we were talking about this earlier. These people manage to both have lots of the amenities of being affluent and yet living from paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, right.
They're both like very affluent, where they can take a week off and they can go travel around. Or they've got all the latest smartphones. They've got new designer clothes. They've got tattoos. They've got jewelry. They have all these amenities, all these aspects that are traditionally associated with like an aristocratic or upper class lifestyle. And yet at the same time, there's in that little group of people, there's probably a collective $2 million in student loan debt. Their net worth is below negative, unless they've got like a trust fund or something like that. But even then, it still might be. So you made this really good point that they're actually living out the communist utopia.
Yeah, you don't have any money. Your needs are met. You know.
But what they're saying is we need to. Everyone else needs to be like us. We're the ones we're living the way we want to live, but it's not good enough because everyone else needs to live the way we want to live as well. Everyone else has to change themselves and become like us and live the way that we do. So they see themselves as fundamentally like intransigent. We're the static ones. We're the ones who can't help the position that we're in. We can't help being where we are. So the only thing that we can do to change anything is demand that everybody else change and adapt and accommodate to us.
That's basically leftism in a nutshell.
Yes. Leftism is, what was the thing I said before or I said liberalism is resentment politicized. This is the function of liberalism. This is what it does as like a virus among humanity, is it finds that resentment point and then it amplifies it, blows it up into the entire ethos of the organism, where the entire organism is driven and motivated by resentment. So when you are driven and motivated primarily by resentment, then you are being a lib.
You look like a goofball. You're like these people.
that was what one of our buddies in the King Pill Discord said. He replied when someone posted this video and said, "This is what I see when I see all of these like ANCAPs who are like, we're going to overthrow the state and usher in ANCAPistan," or he said like the frog
Peacefully.
posters. Yeah, right. Or like the frog posters who are like, we're gonna actually have an H event and usher in the Fifth Reich and all these sorts of things. Like this is the same people. This is the same psychological archetype. The people who are seen as dysgenic with respect to the mainstream, the ones who are cast-offs, that are marginalized, that all they can do is just rage against the system.
They don't have anything real going on.
Right. So this
How's
brings
the audio,
up,
guys. How's the audio?
Does it sound good to you?
Sounds good to me, but it's we haven't asked in a couple episodes, and the episodes have been sparse as of late. So
Yes.
we've only done like 2 episodes in the last 2 weeks. So
Yeah, I think this is like our
okay,
third or
we're good.
fourth episode in May.
yeah,
So okay, they're saying it's good. So then this brings up another major source of debate in the King Pill Discord recently.
no.
So this one's going to be hard on Cooper.
My bleeding heart.
So what this video is going to do, you can see this woman is very teary-eyed, and she's going to get more teary-eyed. But this really is really hard for Cooper to sit through because, number one, it means he has to listen to a woman talking,
Right.
and he doesn't want to do that. But then when a woman starts crying, then it does things to him. So
Also, kind of, she's a little more on the. I guess her characteristics are a little more masculine, more handsome than pretty, but also under the umbrella of my type.
yes. It's very she seems very Mediterranean. She's likely, I mean, she's definitely got a prominence there. So there's probably good odds that she's one of them. But yeah, Eastern European, Mediterranean, Levantine, somewhere in there. And there's a lot of really beautiful women there who have features like this. It's a very striking. They're features that stand out, but there's an attractiveness to that strikingness. So this guy tweeted out this video of this chick going around. It looks like her name is Anya Haas. She posted this on TikTok, and he said, "Forget the pandemic. There's a literal epidemic of women who cannot find anyone they want to be with. It feels like we are at the precipice of a radical new cultural reality that is changing so fast that most people do not have the capacity to keep up." So we're going to play this video of what she describes an experience that she went through, and we'll talk about it because Cooper and I were talking about this morning, and the mind bombs were going off for us.
I'm not someone that posts or cries or anything on the internet, so this is a new one for me. I guess I need girls to rally with me and lift me up because I feel so defeated right now. I've been trying to meet someone, just anybody worth.
First point. When a woman is in pain, she will tell you exactly what she wants. You have to filter it through listening to a woman, which is a skill in itself. But this is what she wants. Hey, girls, I need girls to rally around and make me feel better because I'm lonely and sad and something traumatizing happened to me. This is a woman being a woman, which is a good thing. You can say what you want. There's a conversation about like, okay, yeah, it's not healthy to just go sit here and blast this out to everybody. And there's something that's degenerate and perverse about that. Yes. But we're going to get into why that's not actually the fundamental issue here.
My time for years. And dating apps are so awful. I don't need to explain to you how awful the dating apps are. So I've been trying to meet people in public. And they're still trash when I do randomly meet people in public. But tonight takes the cake. Last week, I was like, I'm part of an app that you can basically get invited to these events. And there was a comedy thing coming up, and I bought a ticket and thought, maybe I'll meet people here. Maybe I'll meet a guy, or like just meet people in general that like I can become friends with, and then, you know, who knows what could happen. And let me just tell you how this went. I show up, it's a limited seating, get there first, like it was like an open bar, and in my head, I'm a prompt person, so I got there like 20 minutes beforehand, and I happened to be the first person there. Okay, kind of weird, but okay. They tell me, since it's an intimate thing, try to sit in the front.
This is a cautionary tale about why you should never be the first person to a social event. This is why the term fashionably late is a thing, because it is much better to be not the first person than to be the first person.
No, you got to be the first person and be like the guy in the meme who's standing in the corner looking at everybody like by yourself.
We'll just keep watching the story here.
Front row, because it's going to be hard to get people squishing through there, and it's a sold out show. Okay, that's fine. I sit in the front row, and it's about showtime, and I'm realizing like nobody else is in the front row. It's just me. Everybody's like filled in the back, like every row's filled with all the couples, of course, and then it's just me. I guess some people had, of course, some people are going to drop out and not show up, but the host of the show comes up to me really quickly and like mouths thank you for like sitting in the front row, and she proceeds to go up onto the stage and pointed out, like, had everyone clap for me for being brave enough to sit in the front row, and like that was fine, like I get it, like, you know, people are afraid to sit in the front row, and I was kind of excited for it when I thought there was going to be people there. And it was just ironic that like the reason I was there was to meet people, and it was like I was a piranha. So she informed the crowd that like I was safe from being.
I think she said piranha, and she means pariah. Yeah. Anyways,
Picked on
maybe
because
she
I was
meant
brave
piranha.
enough
I don't know much about piranhas. Maybe
piranhas are like
other...
the carnivorous fish.
Well,
like
I understand that, but maybe like other fish avoid piranhas.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah,
Do we have anybody in the chat who's like an expert in piranhas and fish and stuff?
That would be a good example of what they call girl logic.
Yeah, we got a bird guy. We've got what else do we got?
Hey, what do you think of this bird?
You know,
look how fucking weird it is. What's he doing?
Look at this fucking thing.
There's the park that I go to with my dog in the morning. I've told Cooper about this. Multiple times when I've shown up there's a car that's parked, and in this one spot, the same car, and there's a bird that shows up, and he's by the side window on the passenger side, and he's either trying to fight with or fuck his reflection in the mirror. He's just going at it, just constantly pecking at it, flapping his wings and like just flailing. And he'll go at it for like 30 minutes. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, man, this is what a lot of the guys I see online. This is what it reminds me of. They're just sitting there, just like trying to fuck their own reflection. Birds are weird, man.
Any ichthyologists in the chat? Is that the bird or is that the fish people?
Oh, maybe.
Matt, this is. I imagine if you're an ichthyologist, that you're a bit of a social piranha.
Because you give everyone the ick.
Yeah, right.
That was well executed, sir.
Hey, old King Cole, I'm aware. I get it. We're making jokes here, dude.
One thing I wanted to point out here is like this is such a fantastic story because it picks out so many aspects of what it is, like what a woman is, and it's very clear that there's a major issue in our society right now with understanding what a woman is. This is not something that's restricted to the they them circles either. There's among our guys, there's a very big deficit in understanding what a woman is. Like, what is this thing that you are so wrapped around the axle about one way or the other?
This thing that you both hate and worship.
Yes, right. So this is like a perfect metaphor for the female psychology. There is nothing worse that a woman could imagine than being isolated and alone and the butt of the joke.
Hey, Matt.
What?
Mr. Bill Hicks says, "Hey guys, trying to get a channel to raid you guys, but nobody knows how. Anyone here know?" You know.
Yeah, you have to go into the live studio. You have to hit edit. Then you go to. Hold on, let me find it.
Old King Cole, he's like, "Cooper, sorry, there's a delay in the stream. Genuinely thought nobody understood." We're over here like, yeah, piranha, social piranha, right? That's the word.
So you go into the YouTube live studio, you hit edit, you go to customization, scroll down to redirect, hit add, and then find the video. Put the link in for the video, and that'll do it. That's probably a lot. I don't know if you're going to be able to translate that, but that's how it's done.
Yeah, better start typing.
Yeah, right.
Or just say go to King Build, you know?
Yeah, so you have to go put it in a specific spot. Oh, yeah, there you go. Thank you, Ryan Isaac. Perfect. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate you, man. Random username says she's not even the butt of the joke. She's the center of sympathy. And that's the thing. It's like, so this is the paradoxical thing about women is they want to be the center of attention, but they don't at the same time. So they want to be the center of attention on their own terms. They don't want to be the center of attention on other people's terms because that means being separate from the collective. The women are the collective, the communal ones who want to be a part of the tribe. They want to be on the in-group. They want to be on the inside. The worst thing a woman could imagine is being the one isolated, objectified outsider.
And like, okay, listening to this story is kind of like, on one hand, you could be like, okay, if this is like traumatic to you, you're not gonna make it. Like you gotta grow a bit of a spine here. But on the other hand, like imagine yourself in this situation. I'd be pulling my hair out, dude.
It would be really uncomfortable. Like,
it'd be really awkward.
And this is for a man. A man is more wired to be able to handle this kind of thing.
My cringe threshold is like very low. I can't handle it.
Yeah.
And I would be jumping out of my skin.
Josiah points something out that's really good here. He says it's not sympathy, it's pity. And that's it. Yes. Because what does it mean if she's being pitied? If she's being pitied, it means she's pathetic. If she's pathetic, she's undesirable. If she's undesirable, she's going to be lonely for the rest of her life. Which is hell to a woman. To be alone for the rest of her life would be hell to a woman. And obviously there's lots of other, biological impulses and everything else. Let's continue this here.
There, and I'm like, oh, okay. So, like, the next few comics come up, and they both kind of point out, like, are you waiting on people, or, like, what's going on here? And I'm, have to admit, like, no, I'm trying to meet people. And, again, they're nice, they're not being mean to me about it, but it's mortifying. It's mortifying. And then another comic comes up, and again, it's just like, you're pretty, but, like, and it's just, Yeah. So by the end of the show, the lady comes up and says that they normally do a raffle to win this prize because it was kind of at like a boutique type thing, but instead of a raffle, she's going to give this thing filled with stuff to the brave young woman who came first and sat alone in the front row. And then she had me introduce myself. What's your name? Anya. And like everybody's as if like brave fucking me. And she tells me to make sure to give my email to so-and-so to get, like, some gift card or something. And, like, this is all in front of everybody. And I just, like, I know nobody's sitting there like, oh, my God, look at this girl. But, like, it's just, like, it feels like such a slap in the face. And I'm not even mad at the comics. I'm not even mad at the lady. Like, I would probably think the same thing. But, like, just for this point in my life, like, it just...
You can tell this. She's got very high, what's it called? Emotional intelligence. Because she's very quickly flipping back and forth from her perspective and other people's perspective. Like she gets other people's perspective. She realizes people aren't trying to be malicious to her. But that makes it even worse. Because then she can't just be like, oh, these people are assholes. She's like, even when people are trying to be nice to me, I still get reinforced to me that I'm undesirable and nobody wants me. Everyone wants to keep me at a distance and be like, oh yeah, haha, I feel bad for you. But nobody wants me. Nobody wants to make me theirs, which is what a woman wants. A woman wants someone to come make her theirs and take care of her. This is why a woman wants to be swept off her feet. Women are obsessed with saying, I want to choose. I want to have a choice. But no woman wants to make a choice. This is why women attach themselves to men, because they want the man to make the choices for them. But they still want to deceive themselves into thinking they're the ones making the choice.
This is why your wife asks you every single day what you want for dinner, despite the fact that you do not care.
Yes. Because she wants you to make the choice, so she doesn't have to risk being stuck with the consequences of making a bad choice, because she doesn't trust her own ability to choose, fundamentally.
But furthermore, like if you preemptively go home and you're like, okay, look, wife, bitch, this is what we're having for dinner. It's not going to go over well. So you have to go through the ritual, and it's really annoying and it's aggravating, but you have to do it. It's just how these things work.
Yes. And this is a feature. This is not a bug. This is a feature.
Yeah.
This is a feature of women.
The plus is that you get to make all the decisions.
Yes.
The con, the con is that you have to make all the decisions, even about really mundane, stupid shit.
Right. So like when you understand how a woman is wired, then it's like insert token, receive response. You just recognize, okay, when I give this thing, I get that. When I give this thing, I get that. Sometimes it's paradoxical.
Sometimes you're playing slots, but it always spits out.
Right.
Josh Ham says, I've been that guy at the front of a comic show, but I'm a guy, so the comics roasted me. There was no sympathy. It was pure harshness. I didn't care much because I'm a pretty disagreeable man. Yeah, but okay. So have I. But that's the thing. Like, okay, that's what you're asking for if you go to the front row of like a comedy show.
Uh-huh.
But you can't expect like a single chick who got told that she should sit there to know that.
Right. You could tell she's agreeable. Like she's very agreeable because they're like, go do this. And she's like, oh, okay. And then like, sit here. She's like, oh, okay. There must be a good reason for it. She's naturally just implicitly trusting people. Yeah, okay, I'll sit here and do this thing. And then she sits through this entire agonizing experience, just wanting the ground to open up and swallow her. And she just keeps a brave face on the entire time, sticks it out, and then just falls apart afterwards. Because this was, you could not devise a more effective torture mechanism for a woman than putting her in a situation like this.
Nadeem Haddad says, Mr. Westford sent us. I don't know who that is, but welcome.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Westford. I'll look into you. What's your social security number? I'd like to know that.
Mm-hmm. We need your zip code as well.
Yeah. Credit card number.
Bill Hicks says, Mr. Westford sent us. He couldn't raid here because he doesn't have 1,000 followers yet, so all 7 of us in the chat made our way over here manually. Well, thank you. Yeah, it's good to see you guys.
Shout out Mr. Westford.
Yeah. So I don't think we need to watch the rest of it. I think it's you kind of get the gist of it, and it breaks Cooper's heart to see a woman crying. So I want to highlight something that random
there's not that much left. Just finish it up.
Just finish it. Okay.
Yeah.
It just feels like Jesus. Like, I don't want to go out again. I'm tired of it. I'm over it. I'm sick of it. When I try, like, shit like this happens, and dating apps suck. And then I get into an Uber on the way home because I can't go have a drink like I wanted to because I have this giant fucking bag full of shit to carry around. And I get in this Uber and it's this 75-year-old woman with her dogs. And she wants to start talking about her dogs and like how she got an oil change and what did you do tonight? Was the comedy show good? And like I'm being nice and polite, but all I can think about is like this is gonna be me. Like, and I know that's a worst case scenario. And it's not even like that's a terrible thing to be single all your life, but like I just can't help but feel like I'm gonna turn into this because I'm never gonna meet someone. And for everybody who's gonna tell me it'll come along when you least expect it, I've been hearing that for like 7 years. Okay, I'm so sick of hearing that. There's such a thing as people that just don't find their person and don't get married. So like I'm a realist, and the realist in me is starting to think like that's gonna be me. And I'm depressed now over it. As pathetic as that sounds, and yeah.
You know what's interesting is she says, I'm a realist. She's not a realist. That's the whole point. She's an idealist. She's a romantic. She wants someone to just sweep her off her feet and just take care of her.
Okay, I'm going to give some advice from the Riz Master, all right?
Yes, here you go.
Guys, if you ever see anything like this happening, just swoop in and save the day.
Yes.
You will have her eternal gratitude.
If you would have had one guy in that room, who saw what was happening. So here's the first there's the like the lower level Riz. This is just for you, for the basic guys, just the you're just trying to get by, you're a 4, you're really self-conscious about it, you're really working up the nerve. Just take the easy route.
Dude, you're a 4. If you just would have went and just introduced yourself and sat with her, you would have been like a 7.
Yes,
her,
instantly.
right then.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Now, the higher level technique, the way you could have turned this woman into absolute butter for the rest of her life. If you came running in really hurriedly and rushed over and sat down next to her and you're like, I'm so sorry I'm late. I got caught in traffic and it was a whole thing. How are you doing? It's good to see you. And just played it off completely normal. This woman would have melted. She would have been following you around for the rest of her life like a puppy dog. That's all you would have had to do. You could be you could be ugly as sin. You could be a big ogre-looking dude or some twinky little Weasley guy.
Like me.
And if you went and you absolutely owned that situation for her and took it all upon yourself, she would have been indebted to you forever. So this gets into the whole, we're on the hook for paying the debts of other people.
Do you want to talk about the some of the response from our corner of the internet to this video?
Oh, God.
I want to gas these guys, dude. I want to gas them.
You should probably come up with a euphemism for that. I want to gas them up, You're
right,
I just want to riz these guys.
You know what I gotta say? I'm after watching videos like this, it just I'm starting to come around on random usernames theory of polygamy, because like, man, I want to go save the day for all of them. It'd be so easy.
Yeah, you get that Captain Save-A-Ho impulse.
Yeah, right.
Right.
I'm not typically the Messiah type, but man, it'd be so easy.
Well, there was something really interesting. This is a whole separate side topic. Something really interesting that Terrence Howard said in his interview with Joe Rogan. He said everyone's sitting around waiting for the Messiah when you could just go do the things that you imagine the Messiah doing. Like if you're like, oh, we need our Messiah because he's going to solve this thing, this thing, this and this and this thing for us. You go start doing those things. Go start solving those things. So like be the Messiah. Which when you put it into like be the change you want to see in the world or whatever, it sounds gay. But it's really true.
Be the racist dictator or whatever. Maybe that sounds cooler.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I can't. If I try to do that, then this thing will happen to me, or they'll come after me, or my kids, my family. Okay. So clearly, pining away after this thing that's just not feasible is a waste of time and energy. It's just you being driven by your own resentment, which makes you the lib.
Yeah, I mean, like, and then all of the dudes on Twitter spurging out about this. I'm like, hypergamy, here we go. Like, these guys, oh my God. These guys You can't help these dudes.
This is what was the analogy?
They're just like little gremlins.
What was the analogy? Well, it was the Good Samaritan was what we were talking about with this. Like, so you've got this woman here who's been, metaphorically bludgeoned and tossed out into the street. That's how she's feeling. She feels like she's laying in the street all bloody with like a broken wrist and like a black eye, and she's all fucked up. And she's sitting there licking her wounds. And this fucking goofball is like, oh, she got a picture of a black guy. Like, imagine this, like, picture this in your head where there's this woman who's tossed out on the street. She's laying on the sidewalk. And some guy comes up and he's like, well, if you hadn't made some bad choices and liked things that are bad that I don't like, then you wouldn't be in this situation. Have you ever thought about that? Have you thought about the fact that you're sad because it's a punishment for being such a whore? Like, imagine that guy walking up there. And you'd be like, if you do this in a skit, like, everyone would be like, okay, this is the villain of this scene. This is the fucking dork loser that nobody likes. This is the guy who's alone and miserable because nobody likes him because he's fucking irritating. Or then you have the guy who just comes up, he has no connection to her whatsoever. He just sees a woman that's in despair, a woman that needs to be cared for, and he just scoops her up, and he takes her, he pays for her to get fixed up, he takes care of her, provides for her needs. What if she's got a pimp to pay off? All right, here, how much do you want? 100 grand here. Take 100 grand, leave her alone. Like, which one of these guys seems like a masculine archetype, and which one seems like a Weasley little twink?
I can't stand these dudes.
Or this here. It's not that they can't find anyone. It's wanting a man over 6 feet, that's 14.5, built like a blah, 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 blah. Be choosy. Don't be surprised when unrealistic expectations mean not being chosen. You know what this tells me? This guy is under 6 feet tall. He's built like a skinny, fat dweeb, and he makes less than $100,000.
Yeah, right.
That's all that matters from this. All he's done now is he's just projected out to everyone, I'm a short, out of shape, insecure guy who doesn't make very much money, and I'm angry at the world around me. This is feminine behavior.
Yeah, you are. Don't you just feel like a bitch typing these things like? What a faggot! You just go talk to the girl. That's what it boils down to. Like, oh, there's a girl, go talk to her.
Yes.
I'm like, no, but they're 6 feet. You're just projecting all your insecurities and your impotence out into the world. And
it's no wonder that they won't give you the time of day.
Yeah,
they can smell it on you.
You're disgusting. You're like a little rat, like a rat guy. Eating moldy cheese.
Like, it's the Joker archetype, really. Except the Joker is like this sort of glamorized way of presenting it that almost makes him. It's like the anti-hero presentation of him that. Then you get all these little dweebs that are like, that's right, I'm the Joker. And this is right back to these fucking communist LARPers. This is the same psychology. It's just manifesting itself in different domains. Like you said, you're the one who, doesn't matter what anyone else says, you're the one who conceived of this idea. That if you have autism on the internet, you have two options. You can either be a fascist or a troon. Those are like, you're either going to be one of these obnoxious, like, groiper fruitcakes, or you're going to be a tranny, or you might be somewhere in between, some combination of all of the above. This is all the same thing, and it's all a product of men failing in their responsibilities of men at the social level. Once you get enough men individually failing, it snowballs to where the society begins acting like an entity with like failed masculinity. Like, the masculinity score is way too low. You've got to get the masculinity score back up again. So in order to do that, you have to do the things that are masculine.
Grump says, I've been here twice and you've attacked my income both times. And I said, well, welcome. He says, it's fine, I just don't get it. Okay, look, what we're saying is that doesn't really matter.
Yes.
What we're saying.
You're the one who cares about that. Do you know how many married guys make less than 100 grand a year?
I'm
Like
one.
the vast majority of them. By definition. This is like just basic statistics. So this notion of, oh, women just want the best. Yeah. Don't you?
Yeah, right.
Women are hypergamous. Yes, they are. That's the mechanism that gets men off the couch. Otherwise, men have no reason to not be just degenerate, slobby fucks.
Right.
If
Yeah.
women weren't hypergamous, the world would fall apart. You've been conditioned to think that these things matter. They don't matter.
We've got a female in the chat, Matt. A new one.
Uh-oh. We've got like 3 of them total.
Welcome. Welcome, ladies.
Which one here?
Natasha.
Oh, Natashki. I wonder if we're pulling Eastern European women. Natashki. If you join the King Pilled Discord server and you're a woman, you actually get your own special tag, and you get your. I actually shouldn't say that. The tag is winch.
Polish. My brother just got back from Poland a couple of weeks ago, after a year in Poland, and I asked him if he learned any if he learned any good Polak jokes. He said no, but I saw some. And he was telling me a story where he's like, he saw a road construction crew or something like that. They're all surrounding like an electrical box, and there's like 50 of them standing there with their hands in their pockets, and there's one guy changing the light bulb.
Oh, that's great. Are Polish people white?
I guess it depends who you ask.
Yeah. Like, are Slavs white? Are Polish people Slavs? Are they like where do you draw these lines of demarcation?
I don't think the Slavs really want the Poles, but the Western Europeans don't want them either.
Right. Like the Western Europeans basically see the Poles as Slavs, and the Slavs see the Poles as Western Europeans.
Yeah.
Natashki is Polish Slovak. She says we're Slavs. So are Slavs white? That's the next question. So this is part about like, I don't have a problem with, some idea of like white consciousness or whatever. I just don't even know what it is. Like, what am I supposed to consider a white person?
Right. Yeah.
The vast majority of the people that I can't stand are white people. So,
right.
Like,
and furthermore, like, yeah, like there's a lot of people who are white until they're not.
right.
Like, Italians, sure, when we're talking about like brown people, but
Right.
when there's no brown people, they're not white. Get 'em out of here.
Right.
Dirty Spaniards.
And what about like light-skinned Lebanese people and like Icelandic people? Like, how am I supposed to put these people into the same category? I don't even know. I don't understand how to make this work. So let's see. What were the other things I'd had saved here? That one and that one. Okay, so I used this analogy when Cooper and I were talking earlier because my mind has been obsessed with all things real estate lately. So the real estate analogies come to mind really quick. And you could kind of think of a woman, because the typical refrain is, oh, these women, like, what's their body count? What, like, have they ever touched a black guy before? Are they what did they study, and did they go to college? What did they study? Like, you have all these things that it's all like, oh, these are all marks against this woman, this is dragging down her desirability to me.
Dude, if I was a woman and I encountered you fucks on like right-wing Twitter or whatever, like, I'd like go date a black guy just to fuck you.
Right. Like
You guys
literally
are
because it
insufferable.
pisses you off.
Yeah, right. But maybe I'm porting my male brain into a female body.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So from like a real estate investor's perspective, you might have a house. So imagine you've got some person that has their house and they want to sell their house, but they don't know how to sell it. And so they've got a loan on this house. This loan is it's like $250,000 on the house, and the market value of the house is $250,000. So there's no way you can sell this house. And then you've got all these liens attached to it. So you've got like a tax lien because you haven't paid your taxes for the last few years. Maybe you're in foreclosure. You have unpaid HOA dues, and so they put a lien on your house, and you got a roof replaced, but you didn't pay off your roofer, so he put a lien on your house as well. So you got this house that looks like it's like this thing's a gigantic fucking headache. It's got all of these demerits, all these marks against it. But from an investor's perspective, so like a retail buyer is going to look at it and be like, oh, I'm going to have to pay off all this other stuff and put all this money toward these things just to get I don't want anything to do with this house. This is like the least desirable thing imaginable. But from an investor's perspective, he looks at it and he says, you're telling me that all I have to do is just pay off these liens and I can take over your mortgage. I can get that low interest rate. And then I can put renters into this property and cash flow on it. And then I get depreciation benefits. I get the equity pay down by my tenants. I get all of these benefits. This house to an investor is actually super desirable. Like this is the sort of house that investor wants to buy. Because the fact that it's below market value and its desirability means there's value add potential to it. So the investor's not looking short term at like how inconvenient it's going to be to have to come up with the money to pay all of these things. He's looking long term what that house is going to make him over the next 5, 10, 15, 20, however many years he holds on to it. So he's got a low time preference and he's looking for value add opportunities. To him, all of those debts that person accumulated are a benefit. They're a boon to him. He wants someone with all that debt. Because he can come in, he can pay off that debt, wipe the slate clean, and acquire this asset that's then going to generate fantastic returns over the long run. This is the difference between a feminine psychology manifesting in men and a masculine psychology manifesting in men. Now, this isn't to say that you're not a manly man if you don't go find the most fucked up chick you can find. And like,
I'd actually advise you don't do that.
Yes. However, you got to recognize that if you are not in a position where you can take advantage of an opportunity like that, from the investor's perspective, in the real estate analogy, the investor who can't take advantage of that is lower status than the investor who can. The investor who can has more capital, more relationships, more contractors, more whatever, that allows him to take advantage of this opportunity. He's a better investor. He's a more high quality investor. The entry level guy or the retail buyer who doesn't have the capacity to do that, in the world of real estate, he is a lower value investor. So these women who are all fucked up, they need high value men who recognize the value add potential and are willing to take on that debt. This is the magic that will dig our, socially, collectively, this is what will dig us out of the debt quagmire that we're in. And I mean this on like a literal financial level and on a social level, on a generational level. The bitch move is to be like, oh, look at all these past generations that they took out all this debt and they ate all the seed corn of the future and they left us with nothing. And now we just gotta sit here. Everything's gonna burn down, and it's their fault. It was the boomers' fault, or the women's fault, or the blacks' fault, or it was the Jews, or it was somebody came and they messed everything up. And look at the world we inherited. Now we don't get anything. This is like little boy behavior, which makes sense because the disappearance of masculinity over the last few generations means that the generations coming up are naturally going to be less masculine because they don't have the same models to follow. And the only way to break this cycle is to create the new models.
What does St. Paul say about putting away childish things and becoming a man?
Uh-huh.
You know?
Mm-hmm. You have to generate the new models. And yes, you're going to have to do that starting from below zero. You have to pay off the debts of your ancestors. Otherwise, your children are going to be paying off your debts.
Yeah.
And again, this applies financially, metaphorically, relationally, socially. It's been very well documented across a whole bunch of different vectors what all the different types of indebtedness are that we're facing. But like what are we going to do? Just sit here and let the planet burn up or something? I don't understand there's no long-range planning or foresight here, which is the masculine responsibility. The woman's responsibility is to take care of everything that's close. The man's responsibility is to take care of everything far away. But in order to actually effectively take care of things that are far away, you have to first make sure that your own affairs are in order. So the way that you make your affairs in order is you find a woman to take care of the local affairs. And she takes care of the local affairs for you in return for you providing for her. This is the proper biological, spiritual posture of men with respect to women.
Can I highlight a comment here in the chat?
Yes.
Mr. Fox the World says, my wife was a single mother. Now her daughter, my daughter, is a base 20-year-old. We also have 2 littles and are kicking ass. So glad I did. You, sir, are a badass.
Yes.
I think Josh has a similar story as well. I also have a similar story. You kick ass.
Yes.
You're a rock star.
Mm-hmm. So you've got all these you made this analogy earlier that you've got all these men who look at women and they see women doing women things. They're seeing women behave the way that women behave when men drop the ball. When men drop the ball, women get all fucked up. And they're seeing that and they're saying, look at this, you're all fucked up. You're all fucked up because you're a woman, because women are fundamentally fucked up. That's the leap in logic that's happening there. So you compared it to the abortion issue. And women who are treated as if them being pregnant is a punishment for their bad choices. If you're gonna treat them that way, that this child now, the thing that we exist to procreate, now this thing here is a punishment?
You get the fucking boomer con types who are just like, oh, well, maybe you shouldn't have done that. And this is you have to deal with the consequences of your actions. And it's like, yeah, that's true. But are you going to frame a child as a punishment?
Right.
And then the feminists are going to take that and be like, oh, since this is a punishment. Yeah. What you're saying is that when we get raped or something, I get it's rare. I get it. They're feminists. Okay. They're retarded, but they do have a point when they take that. Like if you framed the whole issue as like having a child is a punishment. Now, when they do take their exception crazy, one-off case and be like, oh, what about rape? I mean, yeah, you've kind of like sowed the ground such that, you do have to say now that like, oh yeah, you were raped and you're pregnant and that you have to deal with this punishment now for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Or like you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Yes.
Maybe stop framing children. Like how dare a woman get pregnant? Isn't that a good thing? Isn't it a blessing even in spite of like a messy situation or unideal circumstances or maybe bad decisions? That's a good thing. That's a good thing. And then you could take that and like, okay, now we can go over to the crazy, like, oh, what about rape that they always throw at? And you can say like, yeah, in spite of the shitty situation, you have this blessing.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that point made sense.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, if you treat women, again, this is like
right, and
a feature of women.
Natashki says, and they didn't get pregnant by themselves. Right.
Uh-huh.
Men, you need to put their feet to the fire.
Right. Like there's the meme of being like, oh, I can see you don't have a good relationship with your dad. That's used as like a barb. But if she doesn't have a good relationship with her dad, whose fault is that?
Right.
That's her dad's fault. Because her dad is her dad. He's the one who brought her into the world. He's the one who set the terms for her existence in the world. She inherited the world he gave her. And if it's fucked up, that's on him. And the only way to resolve these sorts of things is for men to take responsibility for the places that other men have dropped the ball.
Yep.
This applies in the field of it's like most fundamental in this domain that we're talking about here, procreation and relationships and marriage and all this sort of thing. But if you don't get that right, you're not going to get everything else right. You're not going to get anything else right. Because the family unit, the relationship between a man and a woman that produces a child, is the fundamental unit of humanity. And if you don't get that right, everything that it produces, its fruit, is all going to be fucked up. So the only way you can prevent that bad fruit from replicating itself is by consciously choosing to divert yourself off of that trajectory.
Winter EC says there are times in divorce where the mother drives a wedge in between the father and the child. There are all sorts of situations there. Obviously, yes, there's always exceptions and there's always one-offs and stuff. We're talking in
there's
general
a divorce there. So
Yeah.
clearly there's a man involved, and that man did something wrong. Like, by definition. He may have been like innocently mistaken, but he was still mistaken. The buck has to stop somewhere. The buck has to stop with men. Every new man, every new generation has an opportunity to atone for the sins of his father. Like in the Bible, when they talked about like the curse being on the future generations, that's not like God is angry that you fucked up, so he's going to just like arbitrarily smack a curse on your kids and your grandkids. No, it's like when you make bad choices, when you have there's consequences to engaging in poor investments.
Yeah, that ripple through history.
Right. And that's kind of also like there's that three is sort of like a little trinity, which symbolizes, I was just talking to my wife about this the other day, that trinity is kind of its own fundamental unit of humanity as well. So you have like the lateral unit would be the father, son, and or the father, mother, and child. And then the vertical element would be grandfather, father, son. Is like once you've completed that there, you've got like one unit. So when the Israelites, when they call themselves Israelites, that's like shorthand for saying that you're the people of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob being Israel. Because if you invoke Jacob, then you're invoking his father and the father before him. So the saying Israelite is like a kind of nomenclature that we've developed now. But for them, they're basically saying, we're descended from this guy. We live in the legacy of this guy.
And something you said earlier that I thought was a salient point was, so, the result of Adam and Eve's sin for Eve was, you're going to children, childbearing, all of this stuff. This is going to be really hard. This is what you're going to have to deal with. And what was Adam's? Adam's is like, you have to take care of that.
Yes.
That's your curse. So you got to take care of their problems now.
Mm-hmm. The curse of Eve is everything associated, all those dynamics. And the fact that Eve will always want to grasp power. This is what she's like when she's engaging with the serpent and she's taking the fruit and she's eating the fruit and she's inducing Adam into doing it with her. Women have this natural subversive instinct because they want to control things. They want to think they control things. But in reality, deep down, like performatively evidenced by their behavior, they don't want to control things. They don't want to be the ones held responsible for anything. They want an ultimate backstop to all of their decisions that's not them. And it's the responsibility of men to be that ultimate backstop. To be the one who operates with other people in debt to him.
Right. So, in other words, like, being responsible for all the fucked up things that women do, that's your curse, man. That's the human condition. That's how things are. This is reality. Deal with it.
Mm-hmm. Right. Are you going to live in the world that exists around you, or are you going to spend all of your time living in whatever? Yeah, living in Incapistan in your head, so to speak.
Right.
In the world that actually exists, the powerful men are the men who make decisions for other people. Which means, so you got these guys who are like, oh, I want my trad wife, virgin. But then they're like, oh, my wife won't make any decisions. She just has me to just tries to get me to do everything. She just makes me responsible for it all. Like, what do you think the trad wife is? That's specifically what it's referring to, like the submissive woman. What you're revealing with this, it's like the guy that's like, oh, every woman wants some guy who's above 6 feet and has an 8-inch dick and is $100,000. Like, when you complain about that, you're just advertising that you're not that.
34-inch dick. And...
So just the same, when you're like, oh, I have to make all these decisions, and I have to be responsible for all this stuff, and I gotta, she fucks up, and I've got to make up for it, and I got to clean up after her, and all this sort of stuff. Like, you're just advertising your own impotence. You're saying, I'm not a capable man. I can barely take care of myself, and now I got to take care of someone else too?
Oh no, I have to make decisions? Like, isn't that what you want?
Right.
I think this dovetails well into a conversation we had the other day. If we want to, I don't know, kind of pivot.
Yeah.
Unless you have more to say, but kind of talking about something I see in the right-wing Twitter sphere quite often is this homoerotic sort of worship of strong men. You know what? You want your like Mussolini or something to come save you.
Yes, daddy.
And then you puff out your chest and you're like, yo, that's me.
Yeah.
I'm that guy. But I don't want to make decisions for a woman, and I don't want to clean up her mess.
Right.
But that's me. When are we gonna round them all up and gas them? When are we gonna like install the based monarchy or whatever?
Right. And
God,
and
it sounds so gay.
See, you're like, that's me. That's me. Look at that. That guy that's doing all that cool stuff. He's doing that stuff because he's like me. I'm the
Yeah,
look how
right.
cool and powerful I am because he does all that stuff. What? It's, I don't know how graphic we want to make this. We get pretty graphic on the
you
phone.
know what? Let's go. Let's do it. We've already been saying a lot of like fucks and things like that.
It is like cuckoldry of the highest order. You are face down, wallowing in your own piss, getting pegged and licking some other guy's feet. That's the like the character that you're embodying. It's spiritually identical to that. There is nothing that is like this is just another variant of all the degeneracy. This is just one that's pretending to be based in right wing.
Yeah, and this like worship of an ideology that's like was a blip in history and is dead now.
Uh-huh.
Why? What?
Does it have to be my piss?
Drinking piss.
Yeah, right.
Winter EC says, Cooper, talk about your generation's hesitancy to make decisions. It's a bad situation from what I see. People are afraid to take authority and make decisions, even about a date restaurant. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Why? I mean, there's probably a lot of reasons why. Part of it is having shitty, kind of weak dads.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure is a big part of it. I don't know. What do you want me to talk about? Yeah, that is the case. So guys need to step up and start making decisions and stop like offshoring it to women. And
there's like this,
and then bitching about the longhouse or the gynocracy or whatever.
right. In 19th Amendment, like
yeah, right.
The
we
way
need to
that
repeal
this,
that, guys, it's not going to get repealed. Stop.
Right. It getting repealed would not fix the problems because it is a symptom of the problem. It is not the source of the problem.
Right.
The way this is framed is like everything was humming along hunky-dory, and then all of a sudden women reared their ugly heads, and you've got this rise of toxic femininity.
Dumb bitches.
And it's that you've got exactly inverted from that. It was not the rise of femininity, it was the collapse of masculinity. So it's no wonder that each successive generation gets gayer and gayer.
The vast majority of women were not for the 19th Amendment.
Right.
You had a bunch of dudes who were like, oh, yeah, do this.
Yeah, some rather, let's say, matriarchal dudes.
Uh-huh.
Like once you see the way these masculine and feminine archetypes interact, like on a Pajovian sort of level, then you see this. Give me some fractals in the chat, because there's a fractal pattern to this. What's happening on the individual generational level, weak fathers breeding weak feminized sons, happens on the social collective level. We have a generation that is, and by generation I mean like not like boomer, zoomer, millennial. I mean generation is in like the set of all people who are alive right now. That set is itself very infantilized. It's immature across a whole bunch of different vectors. The reason for that is because the generations that came before it were degenerate. They were degenerating. So you got like degeneration of generations, which is going to cause a degenerative effect collectively. The only way to do anything about this is just to accept that it's the case, and that the way that we're going to dig ourselves out of this hole is by bootstrapping it. Nobody wants to hear it because that's associated with the boomers, and the boomers have all their issues. But you just got to bootstrap it. That's the only thing you can do. You have to, this is what it is to be a man. This is the curse of Adam. The curse of Adam is that you inherit the fucked upness of the world, that you participate in it, and you have to atone for that. The curse of Eve,
Toil by the sweat of your brow.
Yes, you have to toil and labor, and the woman is going to be dependent upon you and impossible to pin down. You're going to be chasing her constantly. She's evasive. She's subversive. She's constantly testing you and challenging you. This is necessary for you to level up yourself. So when I see all these guys complaining about the quality of women and all the gynocracy and the feminization of everything and all this sort of shit, and they're projecting that onto women themselves, I mean, this is the absolute definition of impotence. You can't see the world this way and claim to be pronatalist, because you're actively hostile to everything that has to do with the procreation process. You're like, I'm only going to engage in this process when it operates on my terms. The terms I want. I don't want to have to deal with other people's shit. I don't want to have to live in a world where other people fucked up and they left me with a bag that I got to pick up all this shit laying around on the ground.
Yeah, you're like all these revolutionary theater kids.
Yes, it's the same thing. In fact, the fact that everybody else has dropped the ball and left us with this big bag of shit means that we have tons of opportunities to make a really big dent, to redirect things. I think there's a lot of natural cycles that are playing out here, and this is the way that things are going to trend anyways. The question is like the extent or the magnitude of it, and that's going to depend on how many men actually decide to pick themselves up by the ball sacks and do something. Start building. Build something. Build. Create. Impose yourself. The masculine is that which imposes itself on something else.
Go talk to the lady at the comedy show who's sitting by herself.
Uh-huh. And don't be a fucking spurg at her.
I mean, honestly, in that situation, there might be a lot.
You could get away with a lot, yeah.
You could get a lot with yeah. You could be pretty spurgy.
Uh-huh.
Like maybe you've got a neck beard or something. Or you like bionicles. You could tell her all about the escapades of all the bionicles on Motunui or whatever. Man, that takes me back.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, dude. You don't know what bionicles are?
No.
They're like, look it up.
Okay.
You gotta look up a picture because it was like a Lego thing where you had like these like characters that. This is like my childhood, and my autistic brother was obsessed with them.
Bionicles.
They're just like little figurines or something that autistic kids who played with Legos really liked.
Autistic kids who played with Legos. Oh, here we go. Bionicle. This is what you're talking about?
Oh, yeah. Yep. So imagine you're at the comedy show and you go up to the girl and you be like, "Do you like Bionicles? Can I show you my Bionicles?"
Can I take you home and show you my Bionicle collection?
That might actually work. She might be more socially apt than you and think that's a euphemism. And even if it wasn't,
Yeah.
You might get surprised.
Well, and here's the thing. You see all these women who you get the woman who wants to be a pen pal with the psychopathic murderer, and she's
Right, marries Charles Manson.
what she sees in him is, this sounds like a meme, but it's literally true. What she sees in him is, this is a guy who doesn't let people say no to him. This is biologically, she's yearning for this. This is a guy who does whatever he wants, who doesn't let obstacles get in the way of him achieving whatever he wants.
He's the best at something, even if it's killing babies or whatever and eating people.
Yes. Biologically, she's drawn to that. She wouldn't be able to explain or rationalize why. She's a woman. But she's like, this is especially the case if all the people she's surrounded by are a bunch of impotent, feeble, whiny, nice guys. Yeah, she's going to take the guy that's shaking shit up.
He's a real go-getter, a man of action. He's a killer.
Well, and here's women are the ones they specialize in finding the exception to every rule, because that's what they are. Women are the embodied exception to every rule. They're he's different. He's not the same as all the other psychopathic murderers. He's actually a good one. He's just misunderstood.
No, right.
This is a woman being a woman. It's a feature, not a bug. If it goes wayward, that's a reflection on the men in her life. The men in her life did not train her how to recognize an actually good man. So she needs actually good men in her life to help tune her male radar.
Right, yeah, and Natashki makes a good point. Imagine how the ladies feel. And she says, it's a rough one out here if the only manly men we can get is serial killers. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So get out there and be a serial killer.
This guy really marches to the beat of his own drum. Right. 2-Bit Podcast says Haitian barbecue gets pussy. Let that sink in.
Yeah.
Right. And you guys complain that you can't find a woman.
Change your name to barbecue. Balaclava or something and go whack some people over the head. Get yourself a 10-year sentence and 4 felonies, and they'll just be knocking down the door.
Yes, the letters are going to pour in. You'll have your choice. You can have all of them if you want.
You got to get a lot of notoriety though, so you got to do something real fucked up.
Yeah, right.
Throw a javelin at pregnant women or something.
Start attacking toddlers with a chainsaw or something. And then she's like, but have you heard his voice? Have you heard the way he talks to me?
Yeah, the dulcet tones of his baritone.
Yeah.
Oh shit. This has been a good one so far.
Yeah. I like this fetus deletus abortion wizard. That's a good name. Does he have? I can't tell. Does he have the same avatar picture as Glonk?
No way. No, he doesn't.
I can't tell from here. It's too small. And Natashki says he has a soft side. I swear. Kate J says, "Tee-hee, I can change him." See, the women are vibing with this. The women get it. They recognize this is the case.
Right.
This is why women don't trust their own ability to establish guardrails. This is why they're so they get so weird and screwy and arbitrary when they're the ones who have to create the borders.
All 3 of them are getting excited.
The comments are good. Yeah, he's a bit primitive and caveman-y, but he's my grug. Yeah, I mean, if honestly, the whole meme of you have to be have a big dick and be super tall and wealthy and all that sort of stuff. Like, yes, little girls want a Prince Charming. And they've
Google
got,
man
they
with
create all
Downs.
these images.
Maybe you do have Glonk's. Maybe it is Glonk's picture. Man with Down smoking. Yeah.
Huh. What was I saying? Oh, you have all this meme, this Prince Charming meme. And of course women want their Prince Charming meme. But what women want, what women think they want and what they actually want are not the same thing. You look at what they do, look at how they behave, look at how they act. They're actually very easy to understand. Once you understand that women don't operate by the same rules as men, you can figure out how women operate. I mean, women, it's just paradoxes all the way down. The women want you to chase after them and dig and try to understand them. But they will also resist you and run away from you at every opportunity. The chase is part of the purpose. This is why they exist.
Love the game.
Yes. Mm-hmm. But they don't want the game to be explicit. If it's explicit, it kills it. Everything has to stay shrouded in mystery. There was let me see here. So I got these the Bionicles. This here. This is great. So this is gonna trip your cringe factor big time. But then we have to talk about women and cringe. So it says Ben the emo ANCAP says women are spending $4K to participate in a rage retreat. Sis, you can become a member of at LP National for only $25. Thank me later. It's actually not a bad joke. So check this out.
Dude, this is why women need strong men, because if they're left alone for more than like 5 minutes, they immediately revert back to witchcraft.
Yeah, right. This is women in their natural state.
Right.
This is why all successful societies are patriarchal.
Yeah, right. Because histrionics govern.
But if you as a man, if you see this and you don't feel sympathy for them, you're the one who's fucked up. This is a bunch of women who have been abandoned by the men in their life.
Yeah, it is a really great business idea. Whoever this guy is over on Twitter.
I was going to say, why has one of our guys, maybe one of our guys is the one that's running this. Isn't this like a brilliant like they're paying $4,000 to go out in the woods and scream. You can get all of the women who are in most desperate need of a strong man in their life, you could get them all in one place and get them to pay you to be there. And then you can have your pick.
Brilliant.
These women are lost, broken, feeble, vulnerable. This is what it looks like when a woman is in that state. So if this is what we're seeing collectively, gestures broadly, then that's what's being manifested. At the beginning of that other video, I said, women will tell you exactly what's going on. They'll tell you exactly what they're upset about. You just have to understand that they're a woman and they communicate like a woman. So if a woman's going to go out in the woods and scream and bang sticks around and chant and, act like a witch, this is a woman saying, I'm lonely and unfulfilled and I want to have children.
Yeah.
Anything else this is why you got to know how to sell. Anything else they throw at you, oh, you're not tall enough. Oh, your bank account's not big enough. Oh, your dick isn't big enough. Any of those things, these are just objections. These are objections that the mind throws out.
And as soon as
when it's afraid to make a decision.
As soon as she has children, watch all of that nonsense evaporate.
Yes. Completely. It might be a wild ride for a little while, But
Yeah, you might have to roll your eyes when they pipe up with their dumb feminist shit or whatever.
right.
You just kind of roll your eyes and ignore them or whatever. But fast forward like 3 years, and it'll be surprising how based they get.
And for fuck's sake, do not try to red pill a woman.
Stop that.
Don't rationalize with her. Don't try to. The women are the ones who are responsible for like taking care of the camp. The men are the ones who go out into the woods and encounter Slender Man, and they go do
Right.
war with the roving marauders. No self-respecting man, no wife-respecting man is going to come back from seeing ungodly things out in the wilderness
Slender Man.
and come back and describe in great detail everything that happened to his wife. Because you're going to freak her the fuck out. She's going to feel really insecure, so she's going to start acting out. And now she's going to doubt you. She's going to question your own competence. Like,
Yeah,
so
you
really,
just come back
you go
and
out
say
there
it's
and you just encounter all this horrible shit all the time, and it freaks you out, and you're really upset, and this is like, you're really concerned about these things. I guess that means I can't completely depend on you. Because, you know, if this might be too much for you, then maybe, then you're not going to be able to fully protect and defend me. So you start sowing doubt in her mind in your own competence.
So stop. Cut it out with the edgelord shit, guys. Time to put away the childish things.
Mm-hmm. Start building things like businesses where you charge women $4,000 to go scream in the woods.
And then introduce them afterwards, after they give you money, introduce them to like a priest or something.
Yeah, right. Who is the
or you could like host like a Bionicle convention right next door. And then you could introduce them.
Uh-huh.
You got 2 captive audiences.
You've got all these memes of like the guy who has his autism that he I don't know, like model planes or
Right.
like MMORPGs or like whatever his thing is. And when he has a woman that's his woman, she finds it charming. She's like, "Oh yeah, like that's his thing." Like she likes seeing him be really excited about it. Cuz women are drawn to masculine passion. So that passion doesn't have to be directed into like specifically stereotypically masculine activities. It just has to be directed into something. Doing something that's productive. Like again, like archetypally, you have the man is the one who goes out and imposes himself on the world. He's the one who goes and makes a dent on the world. He plunges himself into the earth and plants the seed of life. The woman, on the other hand, is the one who receives that. She receives the passion.
Are you talking about sex?
Again, fractals here.
Right. That's icky. You talking about icky stuff?
Right. So you want to make her nether bits tingle, start showing some passion. Because she wants that passion. But it can't be like gay, resentful, like, today I saw 11 different trannies and here's why it made me so upset.
Yeah. No, show her your Bionicles, dude.
Yeah. I think I was trying to think of a way to segue into this, but I don't think there's really a tight segue, and we may not necessarily need to go all the way into
Next
this.
thing.
We'll do the we could probably get into this more in the next episode. I was going to look at that ethical skeptic thing, but I don't even think I understand it well enough to talk about it. And here, actually, this is a good one. We'll do this and then we'll wrap it up. Another woman being a woman. All right, I'm very curious to get your take on it. I guess I've kind of primed you.
Seen this.
Okay, I've kind of primed you with the caption up here, but yeah.
Does this make me a psychopath or just a little bit different? Every day, around 3 p.m., I walk to the stop sign. And when I get to the stop sign, I stand and I wait with all the other mothers in the neighborhood. And we wait for the school bus. When the school bus arrives, all the kids get off and cling to their respective mothers. And we stand around for a bit, exchange pleasantries, and I smile a pleasant smile. And then I walk back home without a child because I'm not a mother. So none of those kids on the bus would be mine. But I enjoy feeling like I'm a part of something bigger than myself. It may be like someone needs me, even if it's just an imaginary child. There's no coffee in here. Yay.
Okay.
I know this is good. Go for it.
The yay thing that annoyed me. Okay, so the whole little performance thing she did made her sound like more psycho and fucked up than she is, I think. I think she was doing an act thing there.
Yes.
But does it make her well, I guess what is it that you're asking me? Like she wants a baby. She wants a baby.
Yes.
Go,
yes.
Someone, hey guys, in the chat, one of you, I know one of you single, go put a baby in her.
Yes. Josh Ham, she ain't crazy. She needs a husband and baby. Stat.
Yes.
Kate J, she's clearly crying for help. Yes, this is what it looks like when the eggs are drying up. She can tell. She knows it. She feels it. Again, women are really easy to understand. She wants babies.
Yeah, so she's going to start acting out and doing goofy shit.
Yes. She doesn't have a man there to give her life meaning and purpose. She doesn't have the baby. Yes, so she's starting to do really weird, creepy, fucked up things. Like going out in the woods and screaming and banging on things with sticks. The right masculine response to this is not, oh, wow, look how fucked up women are. What she is signaling, is every man in her life has let her down. She needs a man to come in and change that trend.
Yeah, Josh says she's LARPing as a mother. Go help her become a mother. Yeah,
yes.
There you go. She's already play acting.
Mm-hmm. So go dance. Go dance with her. Give her a dance partner.
Show her your bionicle.
RIP said, if I didn't already have a wife and baby, I'd go save her. Looks like a nice neighborhood. Yeah, like she has if she's living by herself somewhere, she can support herself. She's got a decent job. She's dressed nice enough. So she's followed the prescription that's been given to her. She's living the empowered woman's life. And it sucks.
And it's making her crazy.
Like it. And it's making her crazy. What she doesn't need is someone coming and berating her for having a fucked up, miserable existence. Because she knows she has it. That's why she's doing what she's doing.
Yeah, are you going to go finger wag?
Right. Winter, he says, get consent before showing anybody your bionicles. I think we've created a meme.
What is this consent thing? That just sounds non-committal.
It sounds gay.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, non-committal.
Man of action. That's what I'm
Yes. After. Yeah, remember, women don't want men that take no for an answer.
That's right.
I mean, in reality, though, like this is why all of this shit lib, like you have to get consent at every step of the process, is the ultimate panty dryer for a woman. If you have to, like, can I kiss you? Can I kiss you on this side? Can I kiss you longer? Can I put my hand here? Like, no woman wants that. Not just in the bedroom, but they don't want that in general. Even if they say they do, they don't. The woman wants to be swept off her feet and carried away. So she wants a man who has enough forcefulness to be able to actually do that. Kate says you sound like the bikers from South Park. I All right. Well, maybe next time we'll talk about the age of the pyramids and the solar storms, and apparently the Earth's crust is going to displace soon, and we're going to be returned to the Stone Age. So,
Right.
so if you start building something now, odds are it's going to be completely destroyed, and nobody's ever going to remember that you did it. But this is the curse of Adam. That doesn't change the fact that you got to build. You got to start building. Doesn't matter if the sweet meteor of death is on the way. You've got to keep building. If you don't see what this woman is doing. This woman, like, her eggs are drying up and she's losing her mind. That's what happens to a man if he doesn't build. If a man isn't creating and producing and imposing himself on the world, he starts losing his mind. And it manifests in very similar but different ways.
He starts doing all the slimy, like, feverishly typing on his computer and and whatever. He turns into that. Turns into the rat. He's
Yeah.
just, like, stroking his worm all day.
He's like,
Yeah, right. His 34-inch worm.
it's like long and squiggly.
It's like a bowl of spaghetti.
Well, Terrence Howard taught me that there's no such thing as a straight line in reality, so everything is curved.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Speaking from experience.
Uh-huh. That's right. That's my reasoning for my posture, I'm just in accordance with reality here.
That's right.
Thanks for showing up, guys. Appreciate you. The chat has been fantastic. You guys are awesome. If you would like this chat to continue, even when we aren't actively doing an episode, then you could join the King Pill Discord, because this is essentially what the King Pill Discord is. So if you'd like to do that, then go to kingpill.com and sign up. And we'd love to have you join us. You got anything else, Cooper?
No, we're good.
Oh, wait a second. I forgot. There was some super
5
chats.
members. Well, Emmanuel, thanks, dude. He just became a member for 5 months. Member of the King Pilled.
He has been a member for 5 months.
Oh, wow. He's been for 5 months. That's incredible.
Okay, so we had $5 Canadian from Fetus Deletus Abortion Wizard. He said it's a big shit sandwich and we're all going to have to take a bite. Matt. Yes, correct. This is the curse of Adam. You got to eat the shit sandwich.
If you put, like, curry powder on it or something, you might be able to cover up the dog shit flavor.
Yeah, right. That's a proven strategy.
Look at India.
Yeah. Dog shit and dust can be covered up by enough spices. And then I don't want to miss your guys' super chats. There was more. Maybe it already disappeared off of. I don't think I've got the whole chat here. So thanks, Good Day from Well Emmanuel, member for 5 months. Appreciate you, man. And then actually I can look over here. I won't be able to put it on the screen, but I can see it at least. Random username said $5. He said 1% gender imbalance means 3 million forever single women in just the U.S. Gay men, trans, war, suicide, incels, etc. easily push that number past 1%. Right. There's a lot of women out there that don't have men available to them. Of course, this opens up a whole nother conversation, but we're not going to have that conversation on the show. That's a conversation that's restricted to the King Pill Discord. If you're in the King Pill Discord, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you are not in the King Pill Discord, well, then go join it, and then you can know. You can know about the approximately monthly debate that we have in there. All right. Catch you on the flip side.